Hope we don't have to say anything like a Meteor Hammer. I'm pretty sure that item build is kind of dead for the OD, but we'll see what Setsu wants to do. We're going to have a smoke on smoke already, because both sides are going to rush for the mid wards that they want to place down. Of course, nothing to say getting his chance now on the Zeus, which this hero has not lost every time we've watched it. The Zeus has fought really damn good. Every time we have had the pleasure of witnessing it through the close qualifiers, so I don't know, maybe the Zeus is one of the stronger mids that we're looking at here for this new patch. I tell you, John, it has fought extremely potent.
I think it's down to a couple of things, right? Like, Zeus is really nice, mainly because there's so much magic damage amp nowadays. Magic damage scales pretty nicely. The counterpoint is normally that Mage Slayer, but it didn't quite line up in the timings there for nothing to say. And again, he couldn't apply Mage Slayer debuff as often as he'd like. So it's kind of both ways. I think it's hard to say it's the best mid, but it's a very stable mid when you are in the clear. Like, if you look at LGD's lineup, you don't have to worry about an Ember Sleight of Fist spam to get Mage Slayer debuff on you. You can just hang in the back, relatively safe, unless Shiro commits that jump onto the Zeus, as he's probably the best natural Mage Slayer builder. There's a quirky Mage Slayer build for Why You Smile, but Pause 5 Winter Wyvern's likely not going to find that for him.
A bit of a fight already, breaking out Monet. He's taking a bit of damage, but does strength morph and just walks out of there. Still a 2-for-2 trade. JT able to secure both the banner runes up top, along with nothing to say. Start off with the mid lane as per usual, where you're going to have nothing to say against the OD of Setsu. Why You Smile still sticking around down at this bottom, but he should be able to get out. He's getting out. He's fine. He'll go through the twin gates. So back into the mid lane. Setsu versus nothing to say. I mean, the Zeus pickup against the OD, arguably a pretty good choice here for G2.iG. Do you think it pays off here, Jonathan? In fact, is bottom lane tri-laning? Is that what's happening? I think they are.
They want that first blood.
However, I mean, Why You Smile's still here. Why You Smile's going to come back in. A bit of a bait from LGD, because Boboka's the one to give first blood away.
Yeah, both of them want that first blood. I like that identification on G2.iG to just bully a Timbersaw at its first 2 levels. That's when it's definitely at its weakest. But LGD, again, they didn't fully back there with Y. Still hung around instead of going through the gate. And finds the punishment. So, clean up. First blood goes away. They're still keeping them tri-lane. Well, no. I just missaw. They are just breaking into their lanes now. And hold steady. This lane for Monet is pretty alright outside of that tri-lane scenario. You can just shift around on the morph. You are far away enough from that Timbersaw that you should be able to farm, and there's nothing to just burn you through here. So it is manageable enough. Xnova just going for the pull to try to have the creep wave positioned and try to make them meet again as PYW is trying for a pull.
Well, let's get away with it for now. Xnova.
They're both going to get the double wave, I think. Looks like.
It does seem like that. Xnova, though, is taking a lot of harassment here from New. New is not making it very easy. Shiro, now losing his courier in the meantime. But PYW has got a double wave. He's well and truly gone with it. New's done a fantastic job of not kind of allowing the same thing, though. New now losing his own courier to Xnova, so courier's just going down left, right, and center. But it seems as though LGD got away with what they wanted.
That they do, but G2.iG again managed to equalize it to an extent. Monet is just going to be able to feed off this creep wave. Next wave is coming in, and it is also pulled away by Xnova. So you should have some decent equilibrium coming out, but some free XP for these 2 EXP Hunter heroes is always nice. The mid lane, which we didn't really get to talk about because of that action, I would say this is, again, pretty good for Zeus, but it's also pretty awful to have Astral Imprisonment spammed onto you. Like, he's down to 366 mana total, which is kind of a double-edged sword. Like, every refill on the bottle does feel better, percentage-wise, but your spell spam capability is not as high, and Satsu's going to be winning out every time he steals that mana, so it's going to be rough going in that sense. Overall, wave clear is much easier for nothing to say, though, and it does take levels for the Astral Imprisonment spam to really start to feel awful, so it should be manageable for the time being for the Zeus. I think level 4 or 5 is when you should start to concern yourself with the OD, but even then, if you get a rotation out here, and you do have great supports for that on G2.iG, it's a relatively easy hero early on to pin down.
Setsu actually going to have a TP coming in from PYW. Nothing to say. Going to cop the avalanche into the toss now. Nothing to say. Still going to be able to heavily jump out. Will TP back towards the tier 1 tower. So, will remain in the laning phase. Obviously, does have to use all his bottle charges to be able to stay within. As Setsu, again, going to get very aggressive with the Arcane Bolts. Going to force a rotation now from the supports of G2.iG. Just to ensure Nothing to Say does not end up dropping. But even with the Zeus vs OD matchup, it is proving to be very hard for NTS.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's finding the farm, but the pressure is mounting on LGD, which is really what you want to see. This OD needs that fast start into Power Treads, Witchblade, likely the build up here for Setsu. Should be able to find that. Very well protected as well with 2 good wards watching in the lane, but you also have some great wards. Double wards actually watching here from G2.iG as well. Last lane we haven't peeked at, but Boca starting to get jumped a little bit.
Well, that he is.
Does.
Boca. He's alright. He's going to make it.
Yeah, but a very stable lane for Shiro. Again, it's a DK lane. No matter what you're up against, you're likely just going to survive. You've got the Winter Wyvern at the back to poke as well. They have done a great job of just feeding pretty much a lot of solo EXP onto Shiro. Hits 4 early, about to hit 5 in comparison to JT. Y just hanging in, pulling every single time, and just fixing that lane equilibrium does lead to a fairly good time here for that DK. And not lagging behind farm. Farm distribution across every core is rather even. Slightly better overall in distribution here for G2.iG, but not by much. And that lead for Setsu, it's a marginal lead in terms of CS. So, early days here. Outside of First Blood, again, just posturing, getting resources on the map.
Mid lane, nothing to say again. Going to be jumped here on the Zeus. He does have help around. In fact, a double Earth Spike from Baboka going to keep him alive. PYW is the one to go down to the Tiny. Nothing to say, will make his way out and will ensure the Lion does also retreat successfully. That is another attempt at taking the life of the Zeus, but it does backfire this time on LGD.
Yeah, great flank out from Baboka. Was set to walk their way early. Again, the wards from LGD this time not watching that area up north. Is just watching the right side instead. And that does cause issues. Bottle the rune picked up by Say as well. So it's going to be fully topped up for this engagement. Still, if Setsu just gets a 1v1, it's actually pretty happy days for the OD overall. Level 6 is ready with the Sanities. Zeus maybe not the best target for that mana difference multiplier, but you have the threat if you find a power rune on 8 minutes to get that rotation going as well. X-Nova?
In pretty big danger. New should have no problems taking this man out, and won't. Hands up from New, just waves him goodbye. Nothing X-Nova could have done to survive through that, I don't think. So 1-2 so far. 6.5 minutes in. 7-minute Wisdom Rune's about to respawn, or rather, about to spawn. Seems like both sides will be able to just go for their respective runes. Nobody trying to steal one away from the other. No Nature's Prophet to worry about either, which is nice. Slight net worth lead for LGD, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah, everything's holding steady.
I keep looking at this mid-Zeus because he just feels like he has to be so careful. There's just been so many support rotations from LGD this game already.
That there has. I think they understand just how important it is to shut down that Zeus timing into Phylactery. That's when it can become unmanageable. Why though? Not going to be fully targeted. They get the D ward on the sentry and again just keep it as safe as possible for Nothing to Say. Like they really want this man to have as good of a game as possible. Still, you're just poking. All of this emphasis on mid, it's not too bad for the side lanes either of G2.iG. And JT is able to hold his own. You are also able to hold your own on Monet, but you are getting more efficiency out from the side of LGD. The farm of all 3 of their cores slightly ahead. Oh,
Arcane Rune still picked up by Nothing to Say. He's going to have a great time with this. Setsu getting caught in the middle of this team fight. They will at least find X-Nova. PYW try and intervene. Nothing to Say still wanting the kill on Setsu. They will get it with Baboka. And now they can turn onto PYW. Nothing the Tiny can do but die. Triple kill for Baboka. God. The Lion of all people gets the triple kill.
He's a happy man.
Oh, sure is.
Very happy, man. And I love what he's doing. You know, he has the trank boots. He's also going for the windlace. Just wants more move speed. Love doing this. I love seeing this online. It just feels so good to have that mobility early on. He also does go for the 1-1-2 build, likely 1-1-3 by the time he's 5. So he is just topping up his Zeus. Like, this is the ultimate support right there. That's peak support performance, Mike. Although, nothing to say has to be cautious with the creeps. He's not the healthiest.
Absolutely not. Boca just keeping up all the stacks here for nothing to say, ensuring he is going to have himself a much better game. Real shame as well, because you would have had such a good timing on the phylactery had nothing to say picked up every kill. These damn supports always getting in the way. Very upsetting.
Ah, come on.
Especially these
It's not
Lion
Baboka's
players.
fault he's too good. It's not Baboka's fault he's too good. You know?
It's always the Lion enjoys, I find. Always trying to find a
shut up. Ah, look at this. Look at this guy trying to act all high and mighty. I mean, I'm sure Baboka apologized a million times, okay? He's doing his standard sports stuff. Typing in chat saying, I am deeply apologetic for finding that kill. I hope I will set up all the kills for you afterwards.
Oh.
I pray for your forgiveness.
Die triangle. While you smile does rotate, X-Nova just runs right in. Like the Chad he is. Into Setsu, he'll tank the gank for the team. Meanwhile, New does make his appearance as well. Will need to back off. Won't be able to find anything. But I think LGD very well realize they need to take these stacks. So they have been scouted out now by G2.iG. Thankfully for LGD, they have not been given back the way of the Zeus here. So LGD able to hand those over to New. And well, now the net worth graph completely switches. All 3 cores from LGD at the top of the graph.
I mean, it's been up there for a while, actually. For most part of the game, despite that the set of kills and trades, it has been better for LGD in terms of farm efficiency. Just for a bit. It's been a little bit rougher for G2.iG with the rotations on mid. But again, it's not that huge of a margin. It's rather equal across the board, with only really JT maybe marginally behind, with Monet slightly behind as well. I think it's just down to timings now. You're inching closer towards when when LGD start to get really comfy. Like Shiro is working onto the Mage Slayers you'd expect. And you have the Blink and Veil being lined up for New. Not being pressured down bot. And it's that Timber timing that can be scary. Right? Like, you get the Veil, you get the Blink, you've got high skill points on your 2 nukes. You can burst a lot of heroes down. You've got that Witchblade up on Setsu. So he might want to go hunting here as well.
Top lane though, Shiro. Oh, he's going to go try and go through the twin gates. Are they going to stop him? Oh, he cancels himself. Alrighty, I mean, I guess he may as well have, because X-Nova had the magic missile whenever he needed it. Oh. Shiro should go down. So will YU Smile. New trying to move in and trying to salvage the scenario a little bit, but no, he is probably in trouble to boot. He will retreat after finding nothing to say, but it is going to be a 3-for-1 trade. Certainly in the favor of G2.iG.
That works out. LGD just a little bit slow on the response. And a little bit too far forward. Like that positioning for Setsu, right? Smack in the middle of everyone, TPing onto the outpost instead of the tier 1 tower. Does allow that opportunity to just be caught out. Not able to drop the Santies as well on these lower mana pool heroes. And they pull ahead nicely now on G2.iG. Now the lead is a little bit more defined. Monet sneaking ahead on that morph. With that top objective gone as well, a little bit more map space for G2.iG to start to invade. Maybe plant some of those forward wards. Side of LGD, I mean, there is some pressure to play tempo. You do have a safe lane DK who does want to get value from Dragon Form. Right? He needs to siege onto towers. Bot tier 1 is down to half HP. Could be a safe target to clump around for, but their attention gets taken away while Shiro is trying to connect down there. So, again, great read, G2.iG. Phylactery for Zeus does feel great for nothing to say. Smoke out on LGD still with New and Y. No Winter's Curse quite yet, but again, the burst play is ready on you. He's got the blink to just gap close here.
That he does. Smoke is out here from LGD. Monet would be a primary target on the Morphling. He is heading away from LGD at the moment. X-Nova will narrowly avoid the smoke rotation to boot. Though eventually it does feel like X-Nova will probably get caught. Like he will run right into New. They'll look to secure the kill. Nothing to say, though. Is going to be around to help out, but there's no way X-Nova staying alive.
That's...
That was a bit of overkill here from Setsu coming in with the Sanity's Eclipse to boot.
I don't think it's overkill. Now he wanted that kill. You see, right? You're complaining about the Lions, and you have this OD who just dropped Sanities for a support that's already dead. What do you have to say about that, huh? No comment?
No comment, Jonathan. No comment from me.
Ah. There you go. Still important for Setsu to find anywhere. Like, the OD, it's not the best flash farmer. Does need some kills. Wants to go for what seems to be the Hurricane Pike into a Blink Ags. And start rolling from there. They are getting that push we were talking about with Shiro down bot. So it's starting to connect, but there is movement here. G2.iG will not give that for free.
Now heading down bot, X-Nova again in danger. Will try to buy himself a little bit of time to allow his team to connect, but they are going to find him. Monet now, what's Astral up? Oh, that's a nice Earth Spike! Connecting onto a great curse out, but it's on the Primal Beast who is just taking not enough damage. Setsu is going to get destroyed here by Monet. They're onto the Winter Wyvern. They want Wayu Smile as well. They might just have him. With Monet in the Timbersaw form, it's not going to be too hard to get it. X-Nova even tipping his carriers. Monet's onto a triple kill. And this is becoming very problematic now for LGD Gaming. I mean, Monet feels like he's pretty much out of control at this point.
That he is. Free ride into the Manta timing. Already had the Vlads very early on as well. And then it's that key phylactery timing that we keep seeing on the Morph, which is hilarious once it gets into the Conda. It really is. It's just disgusting that that thing works the way it does with Morphling. It was made for Morphling, really. I guess to compensate for the shotgun dying. I think the issues for LGD, again, it kind of boils back to what Setsu did to kill off that bench. So he comes into that fight without the Sanities. They're grouped up in a really tight spot. If he could just hang back further, right, instead of having to go up, play with the Arcane Orb and Astral, and just drop the Sanities when they're all kind of low. Mana pools aren't that great on the side of G2.iG. And none of these heroes are the highest in scalers, except for the Zeus. They would have been softened up for the follow-up there. But again, he opts for that pick-off instead, and it just bites them. G2.iG are still ready to go, sieging on mid. Will find it with no defense, and are still ready to run forward.
JT, who's the target? Setsu. No, that's a big one. Curse is out again. Setsu, I don't think can survive this and will not. You never really feel good just like cursing JT. You saw him that last curse. He just took no damage. He just didn't care. It's very problematic here now for LGD. He's just getting from bad to worse. G2.iG now thinking about Roshan will head towards the pit. Meanwhile, JT just taking down Wayu Smile. No problem here for the Primal. This game has become extremely one-sided.
That it has. G2.iG, this is the kind of performance we've seen from them throughout the closed qualifiers in their previous matches. Kicks back into gear here. Great use of the Thunder God's Wrath to provide that vision for JT to keep that chase going. And yeah, JT is just not the target. Shiva's guard up, so much armor, won't melt to any right clicks here. But they have no options on LGD. Like, they are counter-fighting into the side of G2.iG. It's very snap reaction moments, not really planned out movement here, just trying to salvage a losing scenario. They need to be on scenarios where they're winning. They need to be the ones setting up, you know, just jumping in with new, with the stacks up, trying to melt heroes, getting the follow-through from Setsu. Like, theoretically, you have two tanky heroes yourselves here on LGD with that DK and with the Timbersaw. They've just been caught out one by one so far. Just not what you want to see for LGD. 7k lead for G2.iG, ready to siege on top, or at the very least apply some slight pressure here. The rest of the team is not backing Monet up, so not a full committal yet. This timing from Setsu, it doesn't feel great. Again, he's going for the Hurricane Pike. He's focusing on trying to play around the Arcane Orb, which does feel like the way that the game wants you to play right now. I mean, remember the time when you used to have double Astral Imprisonment? Like, the emphasis is definitely on Arcane Orb, which it feels so awkward, because it's based on mana pool, and you still rely on Astral to build that up as they catch BYW.
They do. BYW immediately destroyed. G2.iG just not slowing down. Lines being drawn out, showing exactly what part of the map they own. It just feels as though LGD cannot really get past their own tier 2 towers at the moment. Monet's going to get started on the top tier 2 tower. Another Thunder God's Wrath is going to give vision of everyone of LGD and exactly where they are on the map. Pretty much force them to just run back to the base because they just never feel safe. There goes your top tier 2 tower. And I mean, they're not going to pressure high ground yet because there's no need to. They're only 90 minutes into the game, but with a safe lane DK and a mid OD and things going this badly, it's getting harder and harder to imagine LGD finding a way back into this one.
It's hard to find the angles for the fights. Like, they have to get a really good Chris off from Y. He's trying to save up for the blink to find that angle in. I think this also just stems back to how sort of awkward OD is. Right? I don't take issue with DK. It is really good tempo, but to rely on OD for your scaling damage is just moderately awkward. Because again, they changed a lot of his spells since the old Arcane Orb stealing int and Astral just doing damage. Now it's just, you're relying on Astral, but you don't have the Astral charges. So it's kind of like a really bad Slark, where to maximize your damage, you kind of need like 2 usages of the Astral Imprisonment. But it's not the spammiest thing in the world. I don't know, it's weird. Like, OD does do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but the process to maximize that damage is less than ideal right now. His kit just feels mildly disjointed. It's a strange.
Looks like he is going to have to die. Avalanche stolen by Monet as well. Monet, obviously, one of the better Morphling players, I would say, from the Chinese region. We are getting to see his expertise on the hero right here, right now. Another pick off here onto the Tiny. Bottom tier 2 tower going to drop extremely easily. No defense to come. I suppose a Tormentor. I mean, the 20-minute mark, why the hell not? G2.iG basically have dibs on both Tormentors. There's no way that LGD are going to try and take the other one.
No, definitely not. I was having a bit of a giggle because Viboka wanted to fill up Nothing to Say, just stood a little bit further, didn't want to move. So he's just forced to suck to form a Y. I don't know if that was what Nothing to Say wanted to make a Y shape in the triangle, but he does. He gets what he wants. He's the boss.
Very good.
Viboka's just there to top you up.
On you, just chained right into JT. JT happy to set up with a Pulverize. But Boka, though, misses the Earth Spike. A little bit awkward. But Rock Throw will connect from JT. Of all things, and they'll drain the mana of Newt, though he will be able to Soul Ring to get away with the chains, but JT's not keeping up. Has a blink, has the onslaught. JT almost feels like he's messing around here with Newt. Spaboka in the meantime kills off Why You Smile. JT's still chasing down the Timbersaw. Eventually we'll have him. And really he's just playing with his food. Just having a bit of fun.
He is. Viboka, again, topping up in the gas station that is Lion right now. All unleaded coming out here. They will find Shiro at Nova.
He's got so many barriers in this game these days. Just nobody's dealing any damage to these supports anymore. Shiro will also get caught out. This is your position 1 DK about to fall. Though PYW does make a jump in. Sanities is out, at least finding the Aegis of Monet. But that's just the one life. PYW will melt. They do at least save Shiro's life. But at what point does this game turn back the other way?
It's really down to the OD and this blink timing for Y. Like, OD is going to be the bulk of your damage until you get the full Ags and Shiro, and then DK can start applying a little bit more as well. But you're not set up yet on Setsu. It's just, again, OD is just sort of weird as a right clicker. If he misses his tempo, his recovery is just really awkward. So, recovery process there is going to be slow. Bottom network core as well for Setsu. You have to get these big curses. You need that blink on Y. See if they find that timing. Blink up on Shiro does help mildly, but the follow through just doesn't feel clean. I mean, Sandpiece is nice. It's also a massive cooldown for what it is. So it does have a lot of downtime here. for that huge burst that can still kill off the morphs, as we've seen. But Monet, a very calculated fight to take. He had like, what, 5 seconds left on Aegis, so not really a big care there. Smoke out from LGD. Could try to leverage this fresh blink on Shiro. Maybe gun for that big angle on the curse. They need something here on LGD. They do not have forward vision though. It is G2.iG this time with superior information on the map. And again with the Thunder God's Wrath to scout out. So, not going to be the easiest time for LGD to flank here.
No, it's not, but they're going to have to give it a crack. I mean, all they see is a Zeus illusion, though. They'll see the Tormentor being taken, and Monet gets himself a free shard, so now they'll know where the location of G2.iG is, but it seems as though they're going to just commit the smoke for the sake of being able to relocate back into their triangle and get a bit of farm going for themselves. So, obviously they're not going to be able to make it through to the Radiant Tormentor to actually get a fight going. Might all just be about the next Roshan attempt, really, for LGD, just trying to counter that Roshan fight. So G2.iG will just cap the area. And LGD, I mean, I do feel like it's extremely important for them to try for that next Roshan attempt, but it's just... It doesn't really feel like they've got much of a chance of winning the fight, you know? Even these 5-man curses are just doing nothing.
They are. It needs to be on the right target. Just can't be on JT. You would be pretty happy with something like probably the Zeus Winter's Curse. Like, nothing to say, could be a softer target to go for, but his itemization has a lot of stat padding. Is quite tanky at 2.6k HP and 14 armor. So even he's not going to be something that melts.
They do get Baboka. You know, that's some gold going New's way. Baboka actually did have a mega kill streak going, so about 900 gold going towards the Timbersaw is never going to hurt. But top lane, Why You Smile,
Oh,
gets
Jesus.
one shot by Monet with the adaptive strike. Not a very nice feeling at all.
no. Technically 2-shot with a waveform damage as well, I suppose.
Well, I see it, Jonathan. I see it.
Yeah. Have to be technical.
PYW's gone. Oh, Rock Throw's going to land as well. New. They don't have Pulverize at least, so New can chain away, try for the TP, but the pole with the Onslaught? No.
Ooh. Okay.
Kind of close.
Miss us out. Not too bad. Hit and run. You're pretty happy. It's not the biggest kill anymore, considering the net worth difference. You're not getting as much here for G2.iG, but you are suppressing LGD. 19 to 8, 17k up for G2.iG. Roche a minute and a half away. Setsu.
Again, on the line, rather on the OD in trouble. Will Astral himself, but Boka just mana draining everyone in the middle of all this. Well, there you go. Setsu is gone. New cannot even deal with Baboka because of that. The immunity during the mana drain. Why You Smile will die. New still in danger. Monet will go down. Is there any more? Shiro. I mean, it really is just time to call it, right? If you are LGD.
Yeah. Pretty
Ultra
much.
kill for Monet.
I don't see the recovery. Props to Baboka for the high-end line gameplay. That's all you do, legitimately. I love seeing it because it makes me laugh because this is all I do. It's like, oh yeah, that's gameplay. Yep, get that finger kill. Yep, get blamed for stealing kill by the caster. That's exactly it. That's line gameplay right there. High ground under siege. I mean, they still have curse, but it's like you said. Like, what does that do at this point? Where's the damage coming in from LGD? It's just not there. This DK safe just doesn't have someone to back him up with output. Setsu is not ready, and with the BKBs up, it's not even flying out from Arcane Orb anymore. So your window on the OD is kind of gone for now. He is going for the Ags. I don't know if that means anything, really. Like, the Ag saves you from dying, but okay. Like, you'll still end up dying. I'm pretty sure. He doesn't have, like, the blink out to try to use that Ag's proc into Astral Imprisonment Blink. Why is there a Light Collector just on the floor?
Nothing to say, dropped it. I don't know why he dropped it there, but he did. Maybe trying to give LGD a bit of a bright side to this game, you know? A bit of light. I know, it's a terrible pun, Jonathan. I was trying to find something to make a joke out of, you know? Anyway, Roshan's happening. Just insult to injury, right? Like, just start dropping your neutral items instead of sending him back to the fountain. Because you can.
Yes. It's like, okay. I don't know. I
Well,
don't
NTS is upset after that last game. Johnny did not have a very good time. You saw what happened to him
I
last game.
suppose so. Yeah, he just got solo target Chrono. They'll target down Y. Nothing to say. Steals it. There you go. Anything to say about that kill steal, Mike?
That's a secure, Jonathan. He's secured it.
All right.
You leave him be.
All right. So what is this lie and discrimination I'm sensing here, Mike?
Why? What do you mean? What's the problem,
What?
John?
You complained when Baboka, quote unquote, kill steal 3 kills on the mid and laning phase.
He did. And nothing to say. Took
And
it
you
back
don't
then.
consider this. You don't consider this.
Well, no,
kill stealing?
NTS.
And
No,
nothing to
NTS
say?
is taking it back, John. You know, he's owed a few kills here.
Poor judgment of character. No one's calling you for jury duty here, Mike. Thanks for outing yourself as they will siege high ground. Mid-rack set to fall.
Well,
Where's the play? New.
this is the play, John. You will just die and hope his team calls it. Yeah.
Oh, he's not dead.
He's in the cold embrace for now. Monet, the mid-rack's not going to last very long. Of course, you have to go through 2 lives of the Morphling. It's not going to be a very easy time for LGD, but they've got to give it a crack. Astral out from Setsu, more rock throws coming in from JT. Jump in from Shiro, he's going to try and go on the Venge. Meanwhile, they do get the Aegis, so the first life of the Morphling is gone. But now, can you deal with him a second time is the question. It's Maboka staying behind. Where has this Morphling gone? Still wrapping around the long way around. Gets Astral up by Setsu. Setsu about to die. Does eventually go down to X-Nova of all people. Meanwhile, Baboka, still being chased by Shiro on the Dragon Knight, will be able to get away as LGD is still just getting destroyed in this fight. And GG is called. They have seen enough. LGD, they will be able to proceed to the grand final of the closed qualifier. Excuse me, rather G2.iG will proceed. LGD, they will be getting knocked down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, and a spectacular showing from G2IG. This is the G2